Dear stranger, this is my first letter, and it will be one of many. I have titled it Intentional Parenting. Are you a parent, guardian, or protective older sibling tasked with the responsibility of grooming those younger than you? Then this one is for you. Draw your chair closer and walk with me on this journey. Intentional parenting, in my own words, is continuous practice of learning. Yes, I said learning and trying. And I say this because every other definition I have seen almost seems to tilt towards technical words, but I want to simplify this so at the end of the day, you know you can as I can. Learning and trying. Being flexible enough to think, to rethink, and acquire current knowledge and experiences to influence your parenting. What does intentional parenting offer that makes it worth writing about today? I'll tell you. It gives you an opportunity to connect with the children in your life in a deep and meaningful way. And at the heart of every responsible parent is a desire to do this. Parenting is hard work. Tell me about it. I can relate. It feels overwhelming, and sometimes, on many days, you go to bed asking yourself, how did I get here? Can I even do this to start with? I understand. I feel you. You are not alone. I agree that sometimes there is a temptation to defer to quick fix parenting, and I'll tell you what that is. Quick fix parenting looks like handing children screens and gadgets to enjoy temporary peace and quiet. Am I judging you? No. Have I done it before? Yes. Do I know it doesn't work? Yes. Because it is a quick reaction to a temporary problem or a long-term problem. However, your approach to it is temporary because you didn't think through it end to end, so you're trying to fix it fast. It's the same thing we do when we are reacting to a child who has behaved badly. We'll typically spank, beat, punish, in some cases injure, so that we feel that will be memorable to the child. We pull out consequences that do not address the underlying issues. So let's agree that while quick fix parenting is tempting, it won't be for us. Amen? Amen. So let's go deeper. In my varying experiences dealing with children, and I have dealt with several, if you know, you know, whether the younger or the older, I've established certain patterns or themes that cuts across all of the children I've engaged in my experience. Time and the pages of this book will not permit me to explore all of it, but I'll explore as many as readily come to mind. One key one that stands through, or true even for adults, is every child wants to be loved. Every child wants to be loved. At the heart of a child is a desire and a craving for a sense of belonging and acceptance, and that usually defines them in the long term. Another one that readily comes to mind: children do not forget. For real, children do not forget. They may be young, spontaneous, playful, and somewhat appearing like they do not take life seriously, but take it from me, children do not forget. So many times I've met adults who have hurt children, who have inflicted emotional, physical, or sexual pain on children, and they chuck it away in their hearts under, "Na pikin now, he go forget." No, they don't forget, and sometimes it redefines their life. So before you promise a child, better be sure you will keep to it. Have you met children? When you promise them, they will remind you 10 years after, if need be. Another one: children master things by repetition. We underestimate their capacity to take in things. It is the reason that they get addicted to screens, for instance. They repeat that action every day until it defines what a good day looks like. So when you take away the screen from them, you have taken away a big deal from them. Same way, if you were reinforcing a good habit, you will be required to repeat it again and again and again. That way they assimilate. If you want to teach a child a new habit, you have to teach them by repetition. The fourth one, children are wired to be impulsive. We all know that about children. They just wake up and do something. They are not thoughtful. They are not very calculating. They pick those traits as they get older, as they associate, as they meet models or heroes in their lives that they are exposed to. They begin to act, think, and relate like they are saying. So they learn that by mirroring. But originally, they come pure, impulsive, and just moved by how they feel. It's the reason that a child can just cry and 5 minutes after they forget they were crying and dance and sing. 5, and that's where I will stop. Sometimes in character development, children also shock themselves by their own tendencies and reactions to situations. Draw your chair closer again. On this one, I know we take it for granted. Many times we think their actions are premeditated. They aren't. They are also shocked that they acted in that way, and they are as curious to know why. So sometimes, if you don't explore why with them, they will still find out why, and it might be the wrong way. If you have been with me up until this point, I thank you, because we're going to the deeper part of this conversation, and I would desire and crave your full attention. Everyone wants to raise good kids. Everyone wants their children to evolve into wholesome adults filled with good character, ambition, and thriving in the world that they find themselves. May I stop at this point to remind us, parenting is not for the faint-hearted. Yes, it is not easy. It becomes even harder when the parent is overwhelmed with their own realities. Sometimes that could interpret as trauma, unresolved from childhood, financial difficulties, lack of motivation, health challenges, physical or mental, loss, grief. I could go on and on. I have tremendous respect for adults who realize they are incapable of committing the time, resources, and learning that parenting comes with. So in those cases, they choose not to have children. I dove my heart for them because children are important and they should be well thought of before they are born. So, some questions. How do I begin to do this intentional parenting thing, TY? What if my children are already grown and I just began this journey? What do I do if I'm struggling as a person, even though I'm an adult, I'm a guardian or parent, and I find that I'm incapable of parenting intentionally? I may not get to answer all of your questions, but I'm open to helping you walk through this. So at this point, I will invite you to reach out if you have a specific scenario you want to share when you read or listen to this lesson and you need help. I am here, happy to help. I continue. Parents are the biggest influence in the lives of children. Typically, data backs this. They will do what they see you do more than what they see you say they do. I'll take that again. They will do what they see you do more than what you say they should do. So be mindful that modeling is the biggest job of a parent. Dear parents, I'm almost wrapping this letter up, but I want to plead with you. Don't hand over your influence in the lives of your children to media. It's dangerous, and its long-term impact we cannot even begin to discuss in this letter. Minimizing or disallowing excessive use of screens will create more engaged kids. Try it, you will see. And beginning to set clear boundaries early and listing out consequences ahead before the offense is healthy. This means that parenting requires a measure of framework to guide you. And so you want to discuss where you have a spouse, how you want to parent, and make sure that that framework guides you into learning and progression. Establish firm boundaries. Don't forget, it's important. Someone said, any child you cannot hand your car keys to drive a car should not be handed gadgets with access to the world without boundaries. Should I say that again? Any child you cannot hand over your car keys to drive should not be handed a phone, a tab, a gadget with access to the world without boundaries. The thought of the accident that will happen when a child is given a car key is the same thought you should keep in mind handing them that gadget. Normalize asking children, how am I doing? As daddy, as mommy, as uncle or auntie, what do you think I can do better? Listen, make notes and make adjustments. Children have taught me some of the biggest lessons I have learned in my life. I'm a good student of life and I have been one of children as well. Try it, you thank me later. If you are married, don't replace your spouse with focus on your children. I just said I should chip that in, but that is story for another day. If your child shows untoward traits, badly behaved, don't be hard on yourself. It happens to the best of us. Don't slip into the quick fix parenting mode I spoke about earlier. Take a step back, research the issue, pray, ask questions, explore, and when you find you are struggling by yourself, don't be ashamed to ask for help from experts if you need to. I'm almost wrapping this up, but I want to shout this one. Normalize saying, I am sorry to your children. Children are human too. If you normalize apologizing to them, you teach them to say, I'm sorry when they hurt other people or they make other people feel uncomfortable. Apologizing to children is important. It teaches them to apologize to others, but much more, apologizing to others around you that they can see that you have hurt or spoken wrongly to also models to them that they should do that when they act inappropriately, even if you're not there. It is instructive. I can't go on without saying that you should ask God for help. No matter what point you are on your parenting journey, I bring good news. There is hope. There is hope. So today, let's get some few pointers as I say my goodbyes. Be mindful. Intentional parenting is mindful. Be kind and use your words on children carefully. Remember, they don't forget. Create intentional memories. The future will thank you. Apologize when you offend people around you or if you offend children. Forget about how it looks. Apologize. You will see that it works. Model the faith that you desire to see them practice daily. No, don't just take them to a place of worship. Actually model it Monday to Saturday when you're at home with them. They are watching. Before you react, pause and reflect. Discipline should be corrective, not punitive. Meaning, you don't want to inflict eternal damage on your child. You just want to correct something. So make sure you keep that at the back of your mind before you react. Hope is alive, and I tell you, it is never late to change direction. There is a way to achieve your desired outcome of parenting, and you don't need to be perfect, to be an expert, or to be baggage free. You just need to make up your mind like I have to be an intentional parent. I look forward to reading from you as we continue to learn Try, relearn, and try. Love, TY.